This is not just a half dollar. It's a hidden treasure from 1950 that could change what you think about pocket change forever. The year was 1950. America was healing from the deep scars of the Second World War. The country was booming. The streets were alive with optimism. The people were rebuilding their lives, and the United States Mint was quietly producing one of the most iconic and overlooked pieces of American coinage history. The 1950 Franklin half-dollar struck in both Philadelphia and Denver mints. This coin would go on to become not just a symbol of numismatic beauty, but a hidden gem that only true collectors could appreciate. It was the beginning of a new decade, and with it came new hope and new history. The Franklin half-dollar, which had been introduced only 2 years earlier in 1948, was already making waves among coin enthusiasts, because unlike the Liberty walking design before it, the Franklin half was radically different. It featured a founding father, rather than a traditional image of Lady Liberty. The obverse proudly displayed Benjamin Franklin, his wise, stern profile etched into silver with such precision that even his long, flowing hair told a story of freedom, invention, and intellect. The reverse was equally stunning, showcasing the iconic Liberty Bell, a symbol of American independence combined with a small eagle, required by law to be on the reverse of half-dollar coins, but minimized in this design as Franklin himself would not have.
Approved of militarism over philosophy, the 1950 version of this coin came with no mint mark if struck in Philadelphia and a small D if struck in Denver. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 7 million of these coins, while the Denver Mint produced just under 3 million. But numbers do not always tell the full story. Some of the rarest and most valuable examples of the 1950 half-dollar are those in pristine, uncirculated condition with full bell lines, a term that
describes the complete, uninterrupted horizontal lines at the base of the Liberty Bell on the reverse of the coin. These lines are incredibly difficult to strike clearly due to the limitations of minting technology at the time, and therefore coins that feature full bell lines are highly sought after. Collectors often hunt for the elusive full bell lines on 1950 half-dollars with the same passion and patience as an archaeologist searching for a lost city. Because when found, these coins can fetch hundreds, even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition, their grading, and their provenance. The Franklin half-dollar series as a whole ran from 1948 to 1963, cut short by the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy, which led to the introduction of the Kennedy half-dollar in 1964. Thus, every Franklin half is a piece of American post-war history, but the 1950 edition stands out because of its early place in the series and its connection to a pivotal moment in American life. In the numismatic community, the 1950 half-dollar is not only a collector's item, but also a study in design politics and minting evolution. Its creation was spearheaded by Mint director Nellie Taylor Ross, the first woman to hold such a position, and a huge admirer of Franklin. She lobbied for his image to appear on the half-dollar and chose sculptor John R. Sinek to bring that vision to life. Sinek had previously designed the Roosevelt dime, and his initials appear at the base of Franklin's neck. But those same initials, JS, sparked controversy during the Cold War era, when conspiracy theorists mistakenly believed the initials stood for Joseph Stalin, leading to public concern and a flood of inquiries to the Mint, which was forced to issue statements clarifying the true identity of the engraver. Thus, the 1950 half-dollar is steeped in layers of context, from Cold War paranoia to gender progress to artistic ambition. And those layers only deepen its appeal to historians and collectors alike. If you were to hold a 1950 Franklin half-dollar in your hand, you would not just be touching silver. You would be holding a story. You would be connecting with a past that includes the dawn of the television age, the beginning of suburban America, and the roots of the modern civil rights movement. It was a time when coins mattered, when their silver content was real and their designs were filled with symbolism. This coin is 90% silver and 10% copper, weighing 12.5 grams with a diameter of 30.6 millimeters. It feels substantial both in weight and in meaning, and the silver content alone makes it more valuable than face value even in circulated condition. But for true numismatists, the story goes far beyond metal content. It is about the craftsmanship of the dies, the pressure of the strikes, the wear patterns of circulation, and the subtle variations in planchets. Each tiny element can shift a coin from common to extraordinary, especially with the 1950 Franklin half-dollar, where collectors also pay attention to die cracks, repunched mint marks, and double dies, all of which can enhance both rarity and value. The 1950 Franklin half-dollar is especially notable in high grades and full bell lines, with MS-65 examples commanding a premium, and MS-66 FB coins selling for thousands. The market for these coins is steady, with strong demand from those completing full sets by year and mint, or those focusing exclusively on high-grade specimens with FBL status. But even for beginners, the 1950 half-dollar can be a gateway coin, a piece that teaches the basics of grading rarity and historical importance, while being affordable in lower circulated conditions. This coin also stands at a crossroads in American minting history, just before the era of clad coinage, and just after the end of the classic Liberty designs. It marks a philosophical shift from allegorical figures to historical realism, and it invites every collector to consider not just the aesthetic of a coin, but its story and message. Benjamin Franklin himself was a lover of coins and printing and knowledge, and this coin honors that legacy in every curve and inscription. Even the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, and the phrase, In God we trust, add to its aura of reverence and resilience. So whether you find a 1950 half-dollar in a dusty drawer, or purchase it at a coin show, or bid on it in an auction, remember that you are not simply collecting money. You are preserving history. You are connecting with America's past and honoring the principles that people like Franklin stood for: ingenuity, integrity, independence. This is why the 1950 Franklin half-dollar deserves to be celebrated not just as a coin, but as a cultural relic, a teaching tool, and a treasure of American numismatics. And the more you learn about it, the more you realize that coins like these are not just round metal objects. They are time machines, they are artifacts. They are the physical memory of a nation carried in the pockets of its people, passed down through generations. Each scratch, each tarnish, each full bell line telling a different chapter of a story that is still being written today. And that is what makes the 1950 Franklin half-dollar not only rare, but truly valuable in every sense of the word.